Boomer neighbor got mad he couldn't make me upset talking about Biden. I was outside playing with my kids when my neighbor came over to talk to me. He has a Trump flag. He's never been shy about his very strong opinions on things, and he definitely loves his guns. I thought he was coming over to talk about normal stuff, like the landscaping he just did, or to ask us about our vacation, but instead he had this huge grin on his face like he couldn't wait to tell me something. I asked him what's up, and he told me, with so much devilish glee, that Joe Biden had dropped out of the race. I've never seen this man happier in all the time that I've known him. He looked like he could float on air. And the very next thing he said to me was, "You and your wife must be pretty sad about that, hey?" He looked so smug and proud of himself to be asking me that, almost like he caught me doing something or was waiting for me to give him some liberal tears. But I just kind of nodded my head. My wife and I don't put signs on our lawn. We've never spoken to him about our political beliefs. And though I guess you could assume we are liberals by just spending time with us, it wasn't his place, and I didn't feel comfortable allowing him to try and insult me like that. So I said to him that I was going to keep my opinions to myself, but it's nice to know that the president can just focus on being president and then bounce to retirement after a long career. My neighbor looked very perplexed by that answer and just sort of stood in place thinking about what to say next. Then he got angry. He talked about the attempted assassination of Trump, said the shooter was a typical millennial because he was a terrible shot who didn't know to shoot for center of mass. He glorified Trump a little bit and then made fun of Harris, saying that she was a terrible candidate and would ruin the country. I think he really wanted me to get mad still, so I just kept my cool and set the record straight that the shooter was not a radical and clearly just a sad kid who people should have noticed. I agreed that the kid was a terrible shot because there was a lot of mass there he could have hit, and I just said that I was glad we had a much younger candidate in the race now, who wasn't going to forget words during rallies or fall asleep during their own convention. Whoosh. All of it over his head, but man did he get mad. He was huffing and puffing, tried really hard not to insult me and my wife, but he said a couple things about us being too young to remember what things were like. I'm 37. Asked me where I'm getting my news, and then when he realized he was not getting anywhere with me, he got flustered and changed the topic to something completely different, grabbed his keys, and said he had to go. I watched him drive around the block, slow down in front of my house, go around again, and then when I finally went back inside my house is when he parked in his driveway. Not sure what that was about, but I haven't talked to him since yesterday afternoon, and I suspect he will not be bringing up politics with me again. Boomer parents didn't prepare for retirement. Told me too late. My boomer parents ran out of money 5 years ago and didn't tell me they were on the verge of homelessness until the very last minute. My dad finally swallowed his pride and told me they needed help, completely blindsiding me and my partner. When I asked them why they didn't fund a 401k or save more, he literally turned to me and said, "We didn't think we'd live this long. I have no siblings." My dad's a proud guy, and he had a very difficult time adjusting to the new reality that someone else was paying half his bills, and he had to SDFU about a few things. They are boomers and have boomer health problems, so the first thing I did was tell them to sell their house, pay off the second mortgage, and put whatever is left away in savings. That was a huge fight, but their Social Security income was eaten away by the payment, so it was no bueno. They lived in rural Louisiana 1,000 miles away from me, and I just couldn't take care of them remotely. They also had the Boomer McMansion that was 4,000 square feet of wasted space on a golf course, but they only occupied the kitchen and a sitting room where the TV was located. Way too much house for 2 people. They wanted me to just start paying the mortgage, and I almost swallowed my tongue. This was the first time I set a red line with my parents. Either get on board with a new budget, or I will not be assisting with more bad decisions. I bought them a small cottage near where I live and moved them closer so I can keep an eye on them. My mom doesn't like the new neighborhood. I suspect it is because in the larger metropolitan area we live, the diversity is greater. One day I just had to say, "Mom, you have brown neighbors, get over it." No further word was said. They are not in a high crime area and their neighbors are friendly, so she will just have to evolve. At this point, I'm working 2 jobs. Thankfully, their house appreciated and the interest rate is low, so I'm an accidental landlord who will make money when they don't need it anymore. I have my own family and kid to take care of, so the surprised addition of boomer teenagers really hurt my finances. I'm able to keep fully funding my 401k and even save a little because I will be damned if my kid will be in this situation. Precious Boomer is allergic to waiting in line. Literally. I want to get my passport photo taken at AAA recently, and the nice woman at the front desk tells me it's going to be about a 30-minute wait. No big deal. So I sit with several other people, some of whom are chatting, but mostly quiet. I'm looking at my phone when Precious Boomer checks in a little while later. He sits a couple chairs away and starts fidgeting, DMV papers in hand, clearly not happy with being told to wait. A couple minutes worth of foot tapping and glancing around go by, and he's had enough. Precious Boomer walks up to the busy front desk about 10 feet away and starts in on the nice woman there. Precious Boomer, when am I going to be seen? I shouldn't have to wait for this. He holds up his car registration bill. Nice woman tells him he can pay it online or wait about 30 minutes. This is unacceptable. Precious Boomer, why should I wait? Why can't I just pay here now? Nice woman, everyone is here for something like that. Precious Boomer, everyone is here to pay this? For the same thing? Really? Nice woman, for something like that, yes? And they're all waiting for their turn. He huffs a few times, and she waves forward a walk-in waiting to check in with her. She checks in a couple more people while he refuses to sit, and instead stands at the desk, glaring at her menacingly, in his shorts and sandals. A few more minutes pass, and Precious Boomer is getting fussy again. A few other folks waiting quietly with me start shooting each other looks and rolling their eyes. The woman sitting behind me is shaking her head. Then things get weirdly entitled. Precious Boomer, I don't know why I have to wait. Everywhere I go, I'm first. I walk in, they see me, and I don't wait. Anywhere. The woman sitting behind me and I burst out laughing. We look at each other with incredulity. He wasn't done. Precious Boomer, I just got off a 15-hour flight from Israel, and now I have to wait? I don't wait. What did he hope to accomplish by saying this? Was he trying to make her decision political? Or to make her feel bad because he was tired and she was making him sit down? I still don't know. Nice woman reiterates that he can wait his turn and steps away for a minute. He finds someone else to bother behind the desk until she gets back. Then things get weirdly medical. Precious Boomer, I can't be doing this. I have a medical condition. I'm not able to do this. Nice woman, you're not able to wait your turn? Her dead politeness really landed it for me. At this point, Precious Boomer pauses, realizing what he has implied, then plows forward anyway. Precious Boomer, yes, I can't wait. The woman sitting behind me, and I lose it again. She turns to me and says loudly, "Can you believe this guy?" I reply loudly, "No, not really. Silence is free. Sitting down is free." She laughs again and makes a call that goes something like, "Yeah, it's gonna be another 10 to 15 minutes. Some old guy here is trying to cut the line." So entitled. Precious Boomer keeps his back to us. She hangs up, and he finally sits down again. I ignore him and poke around on my phone. Then things get personal. A young woman holding a camera comes out and calls my name. I stand up and smile while she points around a corner where we'll take the photo. Precious Boomer jumps up and stands between us, holds up his papers, and says, "I've been waiting for 20 minutes. When am I going to be seen?" This poor young woman has no idea what childish nonsense this guy has been pulling thus far, and you can tell she's going to offer to check for him or something, which is exactly what he wants. But now he's getting in my way. Now it's my turn. I step forward, look at him, and firmly say, "I've been here longer than that. You can sit down and wait your turn like everyone else." Then he did a thing I've only seen the children I used to teach do. He scrunched up his face and bobbled his head side to side in a silent tantrum. This guy had to be in his 60s. Maybe he just didn't like being told to sit by a woman. Who knows? I just stood still and stared at him until he finished, like I do with the kids. Then I pointed to the chair behind him and said, more firmly this time, "Sit down." The young woman taking my photo and I go around the corner. She immediately says, "Thank you for being patient," with a knowing look. I apologize to her for my tone and for his attitude. I tell her about how he's allergic to waiting his turn, and we laugh, take the photo, walk back to the desk where he was being seen finally, and she slides the photos across the desk while I pull out my wallet. You're good, she says. I look at her blankly. You're all set. You can take those, she smiles. Thanks for coming in. And thank you again for being so patient. I'm not too bright, but it finally dawns on me. I smile back, thank her, grab my photos, and leave. The moral is simple. Stand up for each other. The AAA folks were so polite, and nothing slowed this man down but other customers putting him in his place because he had no power over us. We have nothing to lose and everything to gain. Everyone's already uncomfortable. You might as well do the right thing and speak up. Want to blow a boomer's mind? Wear a pink shirt as a man. I've been trying to wrap my head around this one for a while. I'm Gen X. Typical middle-aged Gen X, bald, bearded dude. You know the look. I have a pink t-shirt that has some nice words about kindness on it. That's it. I like to wear it occasionally, but during Pride Month, it always makes an appearance. Regardless of the time of the year, there is not a single boomer I know that can resist commenting on it. Boomers who don't know me just give me the side eye, but the ones who do know me, no matter how many times they've seen this shirt, feel obligated to say, "Hey Pinky," or "Nice shirt," said with an eye roll, or "Ah, that color looks so good on you." Like, why? Is the entire generation so indoctrinated into homophobia that any man wearing pink is automatically effeminate? Anyway, just wanted to get that little rant out of the way. Have a great day.